been working furiously away for the last, I'm going to say 4 years, but let's go with 18 months to kind of build and develop a new basic computer system for us to manage how we grant wishes, etc. I'm sure you've heard all about it. So this is part of it. This is kind of like our first release out to volunteers, and we want to, the first kind of part of this is to get our volunteers to actually be able to talk to each other on a platform that we can engage with, get ourselves off email, because I don't know about you, but my inbox just all day, backwards and forwards, and it's less than ideal. So we want to get off email, get onto a more informal way of actually being able to communicate. So that's kind of, I guess, agenda item 1. Second agenda item is so that you guys can actually be more sort of on wishes in terms of seeing where things are up to. You can actually talk to the wish team on in this. And I guess actually work collaboratively together on the system. So this is our pilot. It's not going to be perfect. We don't know how it all works either. So hopefully you guys will be patient with us as we kind of learn together. And so we want you guys to tell us what works, what doesn't work, what you're confused about, what you think is great, what you think is crap, because hopefully once we kind of trial it and get it working, we can then release it to the rest of the country, which will be really exciting. So I still can't believe we've actually got it on and live. So it's been a long time coming. So I know John's quickly already showed you a little bit, but I'm going to take you through it. Ask any questions you've got whatsoever. If John's already gone over it, you're like, just move on, Mel, just tell me that. So this is the system that we're using is a system called Salesforce. That's the company name, but the part that volunteers will be in is called the volunteer community. So I'm just going to log in as a volunteer because as a staff member I have a different view. So if I go in as me, you'll be like, I have no idea what you're doing. So what will happen is some of you have already been set up. We'll set up the rest of you in the system. You'll get an email from the system which will tell you, click here to go into the community, set yourself up with a password. Once you've got that set, then you just literally go to this site. I've got a handout for you all. Username, password, very complicated, press login. We wait, and fingers crossed. So you'll land on the homepage with little Captain Sam, and you'll see he basically says, welcome to the community. So there's 2 tabs. So this is our 2 kind of agenda items. So chatter is there for the general communication, and the wishes tab is there when you actually want to work on a wish. So if you click on wishes, you'll see here there's a drop-down menu, and this is for all of your active wishes as a volunteer. So everyone will see something a little bit different. John and Dee have been put on all of the wishes so that they can see what's going on for the branch, but as a volunteer I have just been put on 1 wish, so that's why I can only see 1. Now to get into the wish and see what's happening, you just click on the wish name. What we've done with the system at the moment is locked it down in terms of you can't edit the wish itself, and there's lots of different parts of the system that we've locked down just as we kind of trial it. So if we find that you're like, oh, I really wish I could see that, let us know. Because what you might come across is what John found was when he clicked on something else that said, insufficient privileges. So if I click on the wish name, it'll take you to, so then the wish has 2 tabs. It has the feed, which is where you can actually talk to your wish team. And you'll see kind of all of the activity. So it's kind of like Facebook a little bit, where you have different people can post things. You'll see when things have changed on it, and that'll be here on the feed. And so that's where you'll actually, I can say, hey guys, went and did home visit today. And you can just share that, and that'll share that with the wish team in the office, with anyone else, any of your other team members that are on the wish. And then it stays with the wish forever. So it means you don't have to keep track of emails and was that for that wish child or this other one. So it's directly there on the feed. You can attach files. So here you can see there's a file tab, so you can actually attach your home visit reports there. so you don't have to save them and look after them yourselves anymore. If you have ideas and you're like, oh, this would be a great idea for the presentation, it's a website, you can post the website links in here as well. It's kind of like like Facebook, but for wishes. The other tab you'll see here is the details, and this is what the wish team in the office use to help progress them through the wish. So when you go onto it, you'll see what stage the wish is at and how long it's been in that stage. So currently for Mia's in anticipation and it's been there for 2 days. So this will help you not have to ask, oh, what's happening with my wish? I haven't heard, what's going on? Because you can actually come in here and have a look about it. It'll have all this sort of general details about the wish child, date of birth, your wish number, what branch it's for. So if I click on something like the Coffs Harbour branch, what you'll see here is that you don't have privileges to go into that branch. Because obviously, we have to make sure that we keep, important information kind of locked down. You'll have, wish details in terms of eligibility. Now, of course, you'll only get a wish if it's eligible. For us internally, this is what we see. You'll see a wish description, the wish realisation stage. So it really takes you through the wish kind of step by step. This system information stuff we can't get rid of. It's kind of stuck in there. It's jargon that you guys don't need to worry about. The medical condition.
Progressive 24.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one.
Jeez.
And then you'll see in here who's a participant on the wish. So we can see that there's Mia, who's the wish child. You can see Liz is the staff member. You can see Nadine is the mother. Gary's the father. So it's already on there. So if you forget, you can just jump in and have a look.
And there's 3 more there.
There's more. So you can see here, show 3 more or go to the list. You can just open those up. And you see, then it also has, Emma is the wish team leader and Jared is the wish team member. So
on it now, is it not tablet reactive?
I haven't tried it on a tablet, to be honest. I have got the app on my phone and it works on my phone.
I used
So I'm
it
just-
on my phone and it's fine.
So I'm just looking at one now
Yep.
and it's got no like family details, phone numbers, anything like that on there. Is it not supposed to?
It might not have the information on there.
Look at that. So that's doing this. It's going to a phone that's happening.
So I don't believe the contact details are on there at this stage, if that's what you're looking for.
Oh.
It's not very. So doesn't even have like the parents' phone numbers.
Yeah, so at the moment the contact details aren't on there. So what I would suggest with that is the information sheet that you get, Dee,
Yeah.
you can add to the chatter feed on that wish. And then it will be there. If I go back onto that feed, if I was to add a file here, you'll then have on this bit over here, it will have a list of files for that particular wish.
Oh, where's that?
So this
Is
is
that
back
under
on,
details?
so on the feed.
So that's not got it. Doesn't have one.
I just think it comes up on this.
Video feed doesn't have any of those tabs at all.
Realisation system information.
So it's just
No,
got-
mine finishes system
Um,
information too.
It's not there.
then there's the wish
Yeah.
tracking bit,
There's nothing there.
which will give you the list
So there's
of,
still a bug in this.
the actual stages. So in design, this is what the
Yeah.
guys, Michelle Ritchie is the designer. And you can see, when she started doing something and when she ended it. So
it
you can
doesn't
actually
have the
see
list
if
of
it's
what they've
been
made.
stuck in a spot
it's
for
still
a
bugging
while, or if it's moved through periodically. I guess the important thing to note is because we only changed over to the system as of the end of May, a lot of the previous wishes, the date information won't be relevant because we won't have had that in the old system, but moving forward, any new wishes that we'll have. So that's really it. So that's the wish details bit, and then the feed where you'll be able to actually start communicating with the wish team. There's really nothing on there at this stage because we haven't had any volunteers in there. So once you guys, get in and start talking, then you'll actually start to see some stuff. So that's our wishes. So what will happen is we'll get you all signed up, and then sort of starting next week, the wish team in the office, instead of emailing you the information about any of the wishes you're on, they'll put it into here. There's all different types of settings in terms of what kind of notifications you want to receive. So you can just play around with that if you go into here, this is my name. You can go into my settings, and you can say, I want to get emailed on every post, or I only want to get, what's called daily digest, which is you get an email at the end of the day which has all of the changes for the day. You can get that weekly, or you can say, I never want to get an email about any notifications. I just want to go in and look myself.
Where can you change that? No, sorry.
So
under your name, there's
your
a
name,
thing called
there's
settings. Yeah,
my
that's
settings.
it.
Where's that? Sorry.
So in the top,
Your
your name.
So yeah, I've got my name, but there's no my settings. Oh, maybe I have to go to full site.
Yeah.
Because I've signed up properly last week.
So the
You should be
other,
able to-
that's sort of the wishes part. The other bit, which won't be amazing at this stage because we don't have the whole network on board, is the chatter. So chatter is essentially like a social media platform that we're going to use to actually open up communication around the country. So what we'll be able to do is create groups, and so what we'll do is we'll have a group which will be news and updates from us in the office, so we can actually communicate to you guys in real time, rather than having to wait 4 weeks for the next edition of Wishing Wire, which is, by the time that gets out to you, it's often out of date, or we have a limited capacity of what we can put in there because we don't want it to be 30 pages long. We can actually start to post information to you guys. So we've been playing around with it a little bit. So, unfortunately I've had to put my face up there. I hate looking at it all day. But we can actually just start to put feeds in there about things that are going on, so that you can, be in more real time with things that we're doing in the office. Similarly, we can create a group, and we have, but I'm not sure if we've added all of you, actually in here for your whole branch. So once the branch is, I can't get in because I'm as a different volunteer, but once the whole branch is on board, you guys can actually just talk in that space, rather than an email which then everyone replies all and then you reply all, and I don't know if that happens to you guys, but you end up with 30 emails in your inbox around just the one issue, people being like, yep, sure, sounds great, no problem, I'll be there. So I spend my day cleaning out those emails, so I understand that pain. So we're hoping that group will work for you guys. But what I'm most excited about is the opportunity to actually be able to create a group for, sorry if I just go into it, say for example, a group for all of the presidents and vice presidents around the country. They can all talk to each other about things relevant to presidents. Same with wish granting coordinators, Dee. Like, you'll actually be able to connect with wish granting coordinators around the country and talk about things that are, topical to that role. So that will only happen once we actually get, the rest of the network on board. Probably the key thing I want to show you guys today in this groups bit is this one here, and it's called Feedback for Community Portal. So this is where I want you guys to put all of your feedback about how you're finding using the system. So if there's things that you're not sure about, you're like, I clicked this button and it didn't do anything, or I'm getting too much of this and I don't know how to do it, put your feedback in here. And I'm just going to put some tips and stuff in there every couple of days and be like, oh, if you click here, this will work. So Rhonda is a new staff member in my team, and she's our new training development coordinator. She was going to be here tonight, but she's still in traffic. So she called me and I was like, just turn around and try and go home. So she is actually going to collate all of the feedback from this trial, build it into some training so that we can then release it out to the rest of the volunteers and get everyone else on board. So everything that you're loving, hating, having trouble with, not sure what to do, put it in here. I mean, you can see here, Tim, who is our president of Melbourne branch, he's in here, and he's like, hey Mel, we can actually see the list of all the private groups. Do we want to be able to see all of them? And I've actually been able to go in and say, hey Tim, actually we can't make the private groups invisible, but it means that you have to actually ask to join a private group. So it means, you know, he's asked that question, I've responded, but now everyone can see that rather than it being a private email between myself and Tim. So we're hoping that we can kind of learn together. So there's not really too much I really want to show and overwhelm you with it. But there's really, I guess, just thinking of it as the two agenda items. One is just talking about, you know, general things. The other is actually the work on the wishes, and that is hopefully where we'll see the true collaboration between staff and volunteers really work a lot more seamlessly. And you know, you'll be able to jump on and just really quickly see where things are up to, and just shoot off really quick messages which the girls in the office will get to. You know, email isn't built for rapid fire communication, because I get really stuck in trying to think about how I'm going to compose an email and make sure it has all the right kind of social etiquette around, hi, how you going, how was your day, all of that sort of business, which you don't need when you're using a system like this. You can literally just go straight to your question. You know, I don't know, if I got, you know, an email from a Wish team, you know, team member from the office that just said, have you done the home visit? I'd be like, oh, geez, they're a bit, you know, a bit rough. But if I got it in here, I'd be like, oh yeah, I have done it, la la la, here we go. That's the hope. You know, we're basically throwing you guys into this. So we don't have any wonderful training for you. I've got a couple of handouts which should help you just log in and navigate around it if you haven't already. But we just want you to get in and have a look and tell us what's working.
How long's the trial for?
So what we'll do is we've got you guys in here. I've got the PRC, which is the President's Representative Committee, and Rhonda has her own other little training group. What we'll see is we'll see how you guys go. If after a couple of weeks there's not really any key issues and actually it's, you know, really helping, we'll then add another branch. If it's slow to take up and you guys are finding it really difficult and we might need some more training around it, then we'll slow it down. We don't have a schedule of exactly how we want to roll it out, because I think we just need to get in and get it going.
It must be
But this is hopefully the future.
And did you say that this was also an app?
Yes, yep. So I've got instructions on how to download the app and how to log in. The app is called Salesforce, because that's the platform that we're using.
Yeah.
And it's their, you know, standard app that we also have as staff members. And so you can ask, you know, you can get push notifications. So, you know, if someone updated something on a wish, you would actually get a push notification to update you, which is really good. And of course, you can turn all of that stuff off if you're like, oh God, too much.
So that's really good.
So yeah, we're really excited. If you can't tell, I'm very happy. I've been with Make-A-Wish for 4.5 years, and to actually have an online platform where we can talk to each other, I've been wanting since, you know, day one. So I'm excited to turn it on.
It looks good.
And,
I think it looks good.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of getting into the 21st century, like we're a little bit further behind. But to get something like this off the ground, you know, Facebook pumped billions of dollars into their platform, you know, so for us to try and build something that's similar to that is pretty epic. So, you know, we've basically built this onto an existing, you know, platform, which is Salesforce. So, next week we'll make sure that everyone's in, and then we'll start getting the Wish team to actually communicate to you guys through this platform.
The only thing is to let people know, if you don't want to use your company email, sign up for a Gmail or Outlook or whatever.
Yeah, so if people have a preferred email that they want to use instead of the one that we have on file, you just need to let me know. And, you know, we can change it once you set up. We can, you know, if I go into my settings here, and I wait, and then I click here, email settings. Oh, no, see, my settings, security here. So I can go in and I can change my username, I can change my password, and on our end, on the system admin end, we can change your email address.
Cool.
Anyone have any questions? Any more questions, I should say?
I think it's just having a play with it.
Yeah.
Get in and have a go, and don't be shy. You know, don't think we're going to be offended if you think there's parts of it that are crap, because there probably are. You know, as I said, this is a locked down version of what we use in the office, so we see more. So if there are things that you think would be really awesome if I could actually see that, we can actually unlock some stuff. But we just wanted to kind of make it really simple to start with, and then if we think we need some more information, we can do
You
that.
came up with something like contact details for.
Mhm.
Do you have phone numbers?
So no, so at the moment we can't release that, because what that does is then it gives we can't lock it down to just the contact details of the family. Then if we enable that, it gives it to, you'll get everyone. And for privacy reasons, we obviously can't release all the contact details for everyone to anyone. So what I would suggest is, Dee, when you get the request for a new wish and it's got that information sheet, we can actually post that here on the chatter feed of that wish, and then it will be there. So it won't be on the details page, so you won't be able to see it here, but instead there'll be a file here.
Oh, okay.
So the files will be listed on that
On the
site.
side.
You don't have to scroll all the way down
No,
to
you
the
will have to do
conversation
that
3
though.
days ago.
So no. So our wish team, our guys in the office, can put it on there for you, and so then once there's a new wish, you can see that it's on there. But for any existing wishes, you might, we'll just play it by ear.
Like when I said to you the other day, can I get the